Welcome into the Locker Room presented by Ted's Floors and Beyond. I'm Namath Pitts, and this week we are previewing high school wrestling teams very similar to like what we did in the preseason, but we are gearing up for sectionals that is this weekend in Montgomery and Birmingham. But we're starting the week with arguably the best team in the state of Alabama, and the argument, well, I got a lot of evidence if you want to go at me with that. But anyway, we're here with the head coach of the Weaver Bearcats, Coach Andy Fulmer. Coach, let's just start. Let's kind of talk about the season as a whole. This is the most important part of the season, but you guys have accomplished some great things this season. You've placed first or second in every tournament. You were the duals champion in Class 1A through 4A. Just kind of talk about how you would evaluate this season up to this point.
As far as accolades and results, probably one of the better seasons for us. You know, we try not to focus just on outcomes, but you get caught up in that sometimes. But our kids have wrestled really well and have had target on their back pretty much all year. And then when you do what we did last weekend, and rest 5 starters, and then you still bring home hardware, then I think, you know, the pressure kind of mounts again. But, you know, we ended up with the regular dual season, 25-1, lost a dual last week to Mortimer Jordan. They kind of had a mixed squad. We, you know, were missing a few people, and they ended up beating us by 7. And then, you know, the week before we did what we did at the state duels and then region duels and county and all that. So, yeah, we're just trying to reload and refocus and get our kids ready for the most important part of the season. And fortunately, the past 2 years, we've done a really good job of peaking at the right time, and we've been healthy, and we've gotten, you know, everybody where we need to weight-wise. So that's the goal again this week and next week heading into sectionals. And, you know, we're in the north, so it's going to be a tough go for us because there's a lot of really good teams, a lot of really good coaches, a lot of really good kids. There'll be some really good kids that don't get in from our side that may sneak in elsewhere. So we're excited, and it's just like everything else. You know, we're going to put our head down. We're going to have that blue collar mentality, and we're just going to keep getting after it. And, you know, hopefully we peak like we did the past 2 years. So we're excited about what we've got in our room and what we hope we're going to do the next couple of weeks.
Coach, you mentioned the competition in the north section, and I don't want to discredit anybody in the south, but the north is a war zone. It is an absolute war that you're going to have to go through if you're going to make it to Huntsville and have an opportunity to wrestle another weekend. Looking at the competition across the board, obviously you look at Dora, the team that's been right there with you. You look at, obviously, there's other good teams like St. John Paul II, Madison County, Deschler, a lot of other teams from the north section that are very solid. Looking at the competition top to bottom in the north section, just talk about how difficult it will be to get guys to Huntsville the following weekend.
Yeah, and you know, you got Asheville too. You know, Sean and Jim do a really good job out there. So you know, it's you know, we got moved there last year. I think it was last year, and James Dowd at JP2 said, "Hey, welcome to the North, where a lot of really good kids sometimes don't get in." I was like, hey. And then, you know, last year we had some kids that didn't get in, and we had several kids. We had 10 or 11 that qualified, I think, but we had a couple of kids that had some head-to-heads and beat some people in the South that didn't get in, and some of them got in. Now, obviously, there's some really good teams in the South too, but specific weight classes for us in the North are going to be really tough. 106 is a really good one, 126 is a good one, 138 is a really good one, and even in the middle and upper weights are going to be some really good weights too. So we're going to put our head down. We're going to keep working, and you know, we're just the motto is going to be just to win in advance. You know, obviously if we can bonus point win, then that's the goal. If we can pin, get off the mat, where, you know, you're not on the mat any longer than you have to be, and if you're in those really tough matches, you find a way to grind one out. So that'll just be the motto. You know, we want to bonus as much as possible because you want to win sectionals, but at the same time, you want to win in advance where you get as many kids in for the next weekend so you have more scores for state. So, you know, our kids, the thing that makes our kids really special this time is a lot of them haven't made it to the finals in some tournaments, but they come back in place and they score on the backside, which has helped us out a lot. So I wouldn't think they would do anything less. So we're excited about the kids we got, the group we're taking. So we'll see what happens. And again, hopefully we peak like we had past couple years. So it'd be fun to watch.
Coach, let's talk about it. Sectionals is now a couple days away. How do you spend this last week before you go into sectionals this weekend? How are you getting your team prepared to wrestle their best this weekend?
We're just polishing technique, and people that are a little banged up, we're resting them some. Still working conditioning, and making it fun, throwing in some games, and a lot of play wrestling, a lot of scrambling, a lot of things like that. But maintaining our conditioning, and when we go live, we're just doing a lot of short intervals, not doing like these long intervals of live, because that's where you take a chance of getting somebody hurt anyways. But we're just going back and fixing some basic things that we noticed from the dogfight this past weekend, and then just polishing up technique and just trying to keep everybody healthy and just maintaining our conditioning, because I've noticed that's one of the strengths that we've had wrestling a lot of the teams in the duels, whether it be region or state, or even this past weekend at dogfight. A lot of our kids, and if they got to the second, third period in a really tough match, we had a really good chance of winning because we were in such better shape. So that's just the goal, to keep everybody healthy, get everybody on weight, and just maintain our conditioning and just fix some little technique here and there.
All right, Coach, final question. Obviously, you guys are looking to, the focus is on sectionals, but you look ahead at the next week at the Von Braun Center, the state tournament. You've won back-to-back traditional championships. You won the duels championship this year. And I know you don't really care about the achievements and accomplishments and whatnot, but you have an opportunity, putting traditional and duels together, you have an opportunity to win 4 state championships in 3 years. Let's talk about, just what that would be like to win 4 championships in 3 years, because that is just not something that happens in any sport.
I'm going to be honest with you, it would be really nice. And, Coach Brown and I talk about, like, hey, we want to be greedy when it comes to that, because we'd like to win all the accolades we can. But it's not about us, it's about the kids, and these kids work really hard. So, we've got our state championship, team-wise, the blue maps and all that, and we won our first duels one, which is really nice. But it'd be really cool to three-peat, because this group of kids we have in the room right now is really special. The young group all the way up to our older kids, they're all buying in. We wrestled, Alexandria last week, and all the hype has been about, the bottom part of our lineup and our young kids, our underclassmen, and, it basically are upper weights from like 65 or 57 and up. I don't even know if we lost a match. I think the last match we lost against Alexandria was at like 150, and we were winning that match and got caught. And then, we pin at 57, we win at 65, we pin at 75, we pin at 90, which was an upset because a couple weeks before, or 3 weeks before, we had wrestled in the county and we lost that match in the semifinals. And then our heavy, he's a 9th grader, he pinned their senior. So, and then, Jolliffe won a really good match, close match. So it was really fun to see all the hype has been about all of our young kids, but it was really cool to see last Thursday on senior night, like our older kids wrestled really well. So it was a really solid performance from 106 all the way to heavy. So we're just excited. I want to win. For the kids, it's not for me. If I don't win another state championship, then I know that we're doing things the right way. It just wasn't in the cards. But these kids work extremely hard. They love each other. They pound on each other every day at practice. And it's a true brotherhood in here. So we would like to, to win another one this year, and it'd be really cool because Jasper did it last year. They won the duels and the traditional. So duels means a lot because we've never done it, and then traditional because there's a little more, I'm not going to say, I guess a little more attention on it because it's actual blue map. The plan stays the same. We're going, the practice, we'll probably tone back a little bit as far as the intensity goes, make sure we keep everybody healthy, and we'll just maintain our conditioning and things like that. So we're really excited, and I know the kids would like to go with a three-peat, and it'd be really cool as a coach to have 4 state championships in 3 years. So I'm not going to lie, that would be really awesome. So that's the plan. We'll see what happens. This group of kids, I know they're going to battle. So whatever happens, I know they're going to give me their best effort, and that's all that matters.
All right, Coach Andy Fulmer of the Weaver Bearcats looking to have a strong performance this weekend at the Sectionals tournament. We are going to take a break, but do not go away, because when we come back, we're going to talk with a Weaver Bearcat wrestler who is looking to make some noise at Sectionals this week against some of the top competition in his weight class. So don't go away. You're watching The Locker Room, presented by Ted's Floors and Beyond.
Ted's Floors and Beyond is excited to introduce our all-new outdoor living collection. Have you ever dreamed of elevating or even creating an outdoor living space, whether it be for grilling, lounging, playing, entertaining, or just winding down? Our quality tile and stone, combined with our expert craftsmanship, will no doubt create unforgettable outdoor moments with family and friends, while also enhancing the beauty and value of your home. Call us today.
Ted's Floors and Beyond brings you The Locker Room each and every day. Ted's Floors and Beyond has all your flooring needs, whether it's hardwood, laminate, carpet, tile, luxury vinyl. They have it for you right there at Ted's. You can go by their showroom there in Anniston. You can pick out what you like, want, and need, and they can do that there at Ted's. Also, they've got their partnership with Weber Cabinet and will offer you a complete kitchen or bath makeover. That includes cabinets, countertops, flooring, backsplashes, tile showers. They can get it done there at Ted's Floors and Beyond. And now they offer you work on your outdoor space, whether it's an outdoor kitchen, patio, or living space. They have specially made outdoor tiles and stones that can enhance your outdoor experience. Go by and see them today at their showroom in Anniston on Highway 431, right before you get to Sachs Elementary School, or visit them online at shopteds.com. That is shopteds.com. Ted's Floors and Beyond brings you The Locker Room. We continue on The Locker Room, presented by Ted's Floors and Beyond. We are now here with Dalton Fink of the Weaver Bearcats. Dalton, let's just go ahead and kind of talk about how long you've been wrestling for this program.
This will be my fourth year, because I'm a 10th grader now, and I came in my 7th grade year. I got the starting 106 spot. I wrestled 106 my 8th grade year, and I wrestled it my 9th grade year. And then Coach Kofer came in. We got a little bit of a weight program going, and I hit a growth spurt. So now I'm 126, and I'm looking to do some big things.
Absolutely, and this is his fourth year, not going to be his fourth year. This is your fourth year, Fink. We're at the end of the season already, which is crazy to think about. But, Fink, let's just kind of talk about how you feel like you've done this season. Obviously, you've had some tough matches, seen some tough guys, but overall have a really good record, have had a really good year. Just kind of talk about how you would maybe say how you feel like you've done this season so far.
Well, I feel like I've brushed up on a few good things. I stuck with some things that I really enjoy. I like the cradle. I know that's something I've been big with the past couple of years, and I brushed up on my feet a little bit, because last year it was a massacre. Anytime I went on the mat, they got the first takedown and I had to battle back. But I feel like I brushed up on a few things that I really needed, and it's really starting to show that I'm getting better and I'm improving.
Fink, just talk about this team. Talk about what it's like to be a part of this team. You guys won your first dual state championship. You've been a part of back-to-back traditional championships. Just talk about how special that duals moment was. Just talk about how special it is to just be a part of this program.
Well, I really do think it's special, because it is a family, and no matter what, no matter how mad somebody makes you during practice, the next day, next match, whatever, you're always going to be in their corner, because it's a family. You're with them 2 hours a day, every day. You're always on a bus with them. You're always traveling. So no matter how much you like a person or dislike them, you're always going to have that relationship with them, and you'll always have wrestling.
Talk about this room when it comes to practice. Like, you literally have so many guys that you could practice with that are going to make you better, whether it's Kel Fulmer at 106, whether it's Peyton Andrews, who had a big weekend a couple weekends ago at Piedmont, or whether it's Gabriel Snyder, Dylan Brown. There's really, really good guys at the bottom of this lineup that you get to practice with every single day. Just talk about the level of intensity within practice room.
It really does get after it. I mean, when you're going with Dylan Brown, that guy, he's always getting after it. Gabe's always getting after it. Like you said, Dylan, Peyton, Hayden, they're always getting after it. John Luca Torres, he's a great practice partner. There's always a level of intensity that is there, and there's no way to get around it. Everybody's pushing everybody to be better in here.
Now, looking ahead at sectionals coming up, obviously you've got some tough guys in your weight class. We're not going to talk about those guys specifically. Let's talk about you and what you have to do to come out on top at sectionals.
Well, you know, I've got a few good matches that are going to be in there because inevitably the North, it's tough. And you're just going to have to battle through right here, and I'm just going to have to wrestle my best and try to punch my ticket in for state. And then if we get in, got to wrestle good.
You've been at state before, you know what it's like, but you know what the environment at sectionals is like as well. Last year you guys went from Montgomery to Birmingham. You talked about that competition. Looking at the landscape of the North section, just talk about kind of why it's probably the toughest section in the state of Alabama in most classifications.
Well, the reason it's tough is because you got powerhouse teams. You got Dory, you got St. James, you have St. John Paul. Nobody has a bad team in the North, really, because everybody's there to compete and everybody's there ready to go.
All right, let's talk about some of your teammates. Obviously, I'm looking at these rankings. I did my own rankings. Rankings mean nothing, by the way. We just do that to stir the pot. But I feel like there's not a lot of people necessarily putting as much respect on your coach's son. I'm just going to talk about Kel Fulmer. I wasn't going to ask Coach this question. I'll ask you this question. He's obviously split with Bailey. He's split with Garrett, but they still got him pretty low in some of that. Why are people still sleeping on Kel Fulmer?
Well, he's going to be a guy that's going to come in big at the beginning or the end of the season, not the beginning. Well, he's a big 106, and he's here to compete. He's always ready to go, and I'm going to take that guy at 106 any place I go. No matter who he has, I'm going to go with that guy.
All right, let's talk about Peyton Andrews. We're going to talk about him. He's a guy that obviously just went into the Piedmont dogfight and knocked off a guy from Deschler that was ranked, knocked off another guy from New Hope. He's another guy that's trying to get to state, trying to experience what you've experienced before. Talk about him and how far he's come from the beginning of the season to now.
Well, you know, in the beginning, he started out a little rough. He was struggling with weight, and now he's really starting to realize this is something he enjoys and something that he can excel in. So he's here, he's battling, he's becoming good in practice, he's bettering himself in all positions. So I think that guy's going to be able to compete.
All right, we can't single out every single person because of time, but there's just a couple I wanted to touch on. Dylan Brown. This is a guy that has not got talked about from anybody at all, and he's a guy that's won some big matches. I think about literally in the duels against St. James. That was a huge win. He's a guy that really nobody's talking about at all. Talk about Dylan Brown and why he's going to make it to state, in your opinion.
Well, I think he's going to make it to state because he put in all the off-season work. That guy from this year to last year, it's night and day. I mean, you couldn't ask for a better transformation. That guy went in and put in the work, and now he's getting the rewards. Like you said, it was a big win against St. James. He wrestled his butt off right there. And, I mean, I don't think there's going to be too many people that are going to disagree with me because that guy, he comes in here and he works his tail off.
All right, final question, Dalton. Obviously, you get to wrestle for Coach Andy Fulmer. He's one of the best coaches in the East Alabama. He's one of the best coaches in the state of Alabama. I feel like he is arguably going to have not just a street named after him, but maybe a whole lot more. Talk about what it's like to get to wrestle for him.
It's honestly a great experience because that coach, he comes in here with the help of Coach Brown, and they come to make us men. They could care less how good of a wrestling team we have because they're trying to make us men, and they don't want us to sit in here and end up sitting on the couch. These guys come to help better the state of Alabama because once they put us in the good positions we need to be in, it's going to work because those guys, they're great, and I can't say anything but thank you because they have really helped make me a better person.
I said that was the last question, but I got a fun one I want to throw in here real quick before we go. Coach Fulmer is going to be the head softball coach after wrestling season. You think he's going to be a better softball coach than wrestling?
Well, we'll see. I mean, he don't have the accolades he did, but I'll be there on my horse seeing how he does.
On your horse? What do you mean?
Yes, sir. Me and my dad, we'll ride horses to a couple of softball games. We come to most of the Weaver football games on horses.
This right here, guys, this is country. That's country right there named Dalton Fink. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to talk more about this Weaver Bearcat Wrestling program. I'm Namath Pitts. This is Dalton Fink. Maybe he'll show us his horse next week at state. I don't know. But other than that, don't go away. We'll be right back. You're watching The Locker Room presented by Ted's Floors and Beyond.
Ted's Floors and Beyond is excited to introduce our all-new outdoor living collection. Have you ever dreamed of elevating or even creating an outdoor living space, whether it be for grilling, lounging, playing, entertaining, or just winding down? Our quality tile and stone, combined with our expert craftsmanship, will no doubt create unforgettable outdoor moments with family and friends. while also enhancing the beauty and value of your home. Call us today.
For metal buildings in Alabama and the Southeast, Waldrop Manufacturing is your one-stop source. A Waldrop metal building provides the coverage and protection your investments need. They specialize in carports, RV covers, portable buildings, and storage buildings. Stop paying rent for storage. With Waldrop's price per foot, you can actually save money by buying straight from the manufacturer. Waldrop buildings are guaranteed because Waldrop manufactures buildings with U.S. steel right here in Calhoun County. Waldrop Manufacturing, serving the entire Southeast. Give them a call today. For over 60 years, Oxford Lumber has been servicing our area, and our customer service has always been our main focus. Our customer service is what sets us apart from anyone else. From the moment you enter, our highly trained staff will treat you like family.
To enthusiastically provide total customer satisfaction within a positive and self-fulfilling employee relations environment. Visit us at any of our 4 locations or at oxfordlumber.com.
Since 1993, WM Grocery has been a major part of our local community. WM offers the very best in fresh produce and an outstanding meat department. WM also has many local products not found anywhere else and fresh sushi every day. If you need an event catered, come see Mrs. K at any WM store. Curbside pickup is also available for your online grocery orders. Be sure to download the WM app for all the deals of the week and shopper rewards. Go check them out today at any of their locations.
We take pride in our community and appreciate your business.
Welcome back into the Locker Room, presented by Ted's Floors and Beyond. I want to remind you guys something that I haven't had the opportunity to do today, and that is to make sure that you like and follow our East Alabama Now page so that you don't miss the Locker Room here every weekday, Monday through Friday. And this week we are going to have a special Thursday. This Thursday is going to be 2 shows in one. So we are going to move our Friday show to Thursday since we are previewing East Alabama and teams out of East Alabama in the lead up to sectionals. I figured Friday they will have already started wrestling, so let's go ahead and do 2 shows on Thursday so that you can see both of those previews before sectionals actually start. So Friday's show will be moved to Thursday. So we will release our first show at 11 a.m. and that will feature the head coach from St. John Paul, the second Coach James Dowd. It'll feature the head coach of the Montgomery Catholic Knights, Coach Coy Hunter. And then at 5 p.m. our regular time, we'll have a special exclusive interview right here in East Alabama with the head coach of the Piedmont Bulldogs, Coach Austin Bragg, and we'll talk with 2 of his Piedmont Bulldog wrestlers. We were talking with Andy Fulmer of the Weaver Bearcats, talking with Dalton Fink of the Weaver Bearcats. Coach Fulmer's team is seeking to win their 4th state championship overall in 3 years. But this weekend, they go to Birmingham to wrestle in a stacked a stacked sectional, one that they have won in previous years. And I look for Weaver. Obviously, you've got to feel good looking at this lineup, starting at 108 with Cale Fulmer, who is my number 1 in my Namath top 5 East Alabama rankings at 108. You got to feel good about having Cale Fulmer right there at number 1 in 108. Obviously, looks like his competition in the South is going to be Piedmont's Miles Bailey. You've got Tristan Garrett in the South. You've got Driver in the South. So for Cale Fulmer, it looks like him and Miles Bailey could be on a collision course for the finals in 108. At 115, you've got Peyton Andrews, who's come on really, really strong at the end of the season. Peyton Andrews won 2 huge matches at the Piedmont Dogfight Tournament against 2 really good wrestlers, one from Deschler and then one from New Hope. And so for Peyton Andrews, he cracked in my top 5 because when you beat Cameron Sharp and you beat Jalen Gunn, those are 2 big-time wins. So for Peyton Andrews, he's going to see both of those guys at sectionals. And so for Peyton Andrews, it's a matter of can he put it back together again against those 2 guys because he's going to see them again. Then looking at 120 for Piedmont, of course, again, you look at this team and what they've been able to do from start to finish. But at 120, you've got Hayden Heiss, who really Hayden Heiss has only had one guy that's been a thorn in his side all year long. That's been Mason Hom of White Plains. You take away Mason Hom and Hayden Heiss would be the number 1 guy at 120, 122. So you're going to be interested to see how Hayden Heiss does in this north section. Can he run the table and get back to Hom to wrestle him for an 8th time this season? But for Hayden Heiss, you feel strong at 120. You heard from Dalton Fink. He loves his horse. He feels good about his chances against the guys at 126. And Dalton Fink is obviously one of the top 126s in the state. He feels good about how he gets into the mix with Jaden Rouse of Dora and Adrian Waugh of New Hope. So you feel good about Dalton Fink. Gabriel Snyder is one of them guys at 132, had a big win in the duels against St. James. He's a guy that you know is going to score some points. Still a young guy. That's the thing about this Weaver team, is they're very young. And then 138, Dylan Brown. I don't understand. He may be one of the most least talked about guys in the state of Alabama, and I don't understand it because Dylan Brown has been absolutely phenomenal for this Weaver Bearcat team. He's assistant coach Justin Brown's son, and he has been an absolute stellar, incredible wrestler for the Weaver Bearcat program. 144, Gianluca Torres, obviously most of his really tough competitions in the South. Austin Mayfield, South. The Pugh Brothers, South. Noah Screws, South. So Torres has a very wide open North section. I mean, that if you're Andy Fulmer, you got to feel good about 144 and what Gianluca Torres could do for them. And then at 150, Deshaun Kirby Barnes is a guy that is going to look to get in the mix there. 57, you feel good about Caden Thornton. Obviously, you got Caden Thornton there with David Herrick in the North. Also, again, in the North as well at 157 is Williamson from Asheville. So it's definitely a tough section for Caden Thornton, but he's an experienced guy for Weaver. Christopher Thornton, the lone starting senior at 65, has been good for them. Hunter Heiss has experience at 75. And then, of course, you feel really good about Brandon Joff at 215. Hooks is one of them guys. He could get there, might be a year away. That's to be seen. But Zachary Hooks has been, better than average. And then Brandon Joff, you feel really good about Brandon Joff. Think that he could win a state championship at 215. And then Caden Green's one of them guys at 285 that you don't really know yet. He's a guy that scored for him at different times, but can he be consistent throughout sectionals? That's to be seen. So Weaver Bearcats are in the Staten North sectionals. They've certainly got the lineup to win 4 state championships in 3 years. Will Andy Fulmer's team do that? That is to be determined, but he says that it would be a really good feeling, and he feels good about this team. If I'm not mistaken, he told me after the duels win that he would take this team in a bar fight. Now, don't worry, Coach, you're not going to have a bar fight as long as y'all stay focused and stay at the hotel. Andy Fulmer wouldn't go to a bar anyway. He said he felt good about him in a checkers match. I mean, yeah, I don't know how they play checkers, but I know I do good on Sundays at Cracker Barrel. But he likes what he's got there with him. I think he even said maybe in a Lego game. I don't know, but he feels good about this young team, feels good about what they can accomplish. And Andy Fulmer is creating his own legacy that's one that might be tough to overcome one day for another coach later on in life. But that is the Weaver Bearcats. You heard from Coach Andy Fulmer. You heard from Dalton Fink. And that's how I would size them up leading into sectionals. That's going to do it for us today. I want to remind you to check out EAN News tonight at 6:30 p.m. John Horter will have your local weather. Mike Stedham and Katie Edwards with all the local breaking news. And I'm actually not going to be doing sports on the newscast this week. So John Horter will bring you weather and sports. He's got a lot more on area basketball this week. Other than that, I'm Namath Pitts. God bless. I hope to see you back here tomorrow. We're going to talk with Cleburne County, and we have got a blooper that I left in there that is sure to leave you dying laughing. So make sure to check that out tomorrow on the Locker Room presented by Ted's Floors and Beyond.